How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the first Fourever Arsenal podcast of the Premier League season. Obviously, we've been here throughout the summer transfer window, pre-season games and the Community Shield as well, which we happened to win on Sunday on penalties. But that's a few days gone now. So we're more going to look ahead and discuss Arsenal's upcoming season. We've got Forest this Saturday, so predictions will be at the back end of this show. Make sure you hit the like button. We thought we'll give you a live for the first one. So bring in your chat and your thoughts and all of that. And when we get some time in the show, we'll go through what the people are saying. Because this is the people show. That's what I'm hearing. It's the people show. When I meet people, they say they love it. They tend to say I'm their favorite. But, you know, just give the others a chance, people. Give the others a chance. Especially Jordan. But big up Jordan, big up Lee, and big up James in the building again. Lee, what's wrong? It seems like something upset you.
You know what I mean? You are unbelievable, you are, like, you know what I mean? You've got some front. I'll give you that. You've got more front than Margate, you. Unbelievable, like, you know.
I love you too, Lee, man.
I love you too, but like, you know, this favourite, like, he's getting a bit of a joke now. Like, I think we need to have a poll up here, like, you know. You know, I goes down to the gym yesterday, and this fella goes, "Oh, I love the Fourever Arsenal." Well, I can't think of his name, but do you know what? I don't care. I don't really want to.
This is why you're no one's favourite.
Yeah. No, I'm saying how it is. He says, "Oh, I love the Fourever Arsenal. Watch it every time. Can't get enough of it." Like, so I asked the question, "Who's your favourite?" He says, "Well, it ain't Jordan. He's the last." Like, you know what I mean? So that goes without saying. That's a surprise.
That's fair.
So then he says, "James." I'm thinking, I'm in here. And I'll go,
top three.
Top three. I'm in the, you know. So he's gone. Then it's you, and then it's Turkish because he's met you. You know, I'm standing right there. You know what I mean? Unbelievable, like, you know, unbelievable. But there you go. But ain't it good? We're live. You know, as Martin Tyler says, we're live. But we was live on what day was it? Monday morning. We was live, weren't we, gents? Well,
some of us were.
After the Community Shield, you know what I mean? Had a late night, got up early. Still suffering a little bit of jet lag. I don't know if you were, but someone might have still been on the bloody plane. You know what I mean? Someone don't turn up again, lads. Doesn't turn up again.
Name names.
Put it this way: he's not. He's someone's favourite. You know what I mean? That's all. Joe.
You know what? I'm not even going to bring my defense argument. I'm going to hold both hands up. I'm going to say I haven't started this season as I mean to go on. That was a blip in the matrix. That's what we're going to call
Where's Sharoy?
I was going to say, you're not calling Sharoy into this one.
Nah, I think Sharoy's busy. He's a busy man.
Even he can't defend this. This is Sharoy. I need your help. What'd you do? They charged me for murder. Did you do it? No, I did. Well, what
can I do?
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I can only apologize, people, and I do mean it every single time. Like I said, it won't happen
every single time. That's when you know there's like lots and lots of charges. I mean it every single time. All 24 of them. I meant all 24. Honestly. I swear to you.
You go back to the family. So I'll go to them like, I ain't done the Fourever Arsenal, and they all go now. My mum, my dad, Michelle, they all go turn around and go like, "Oh, what Turkish ain't said that?" Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean, they all know what's going on. He's a serial later, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean,
I have no words. I have no words. But you know what I will do, people. I will apologize on Lee's behalf because we was meant to go live at 9:30 today, but someone was a couple of minutes late today and kept you beautiful ladies and gentlemen out there waiting, and that wasn't on me tonight. So I just want to get that one out there.
What's he nodding his head for up there like nodding donkey? You know what I mean? Like, all right, yeah, I was late. The computer weren't on, like, but I was back here at 9:30, just as we're about to start. I better go and get my charger.
All right, listen. The comedy's out the way. We've got a big show in store because we've got a lot to talk about. And with the season upon us, we might as well get going. Like I said, predictions and a little talk on Forest will be later on in the show. We'll still got comments of the day later on in the show as well. But let's get into it because the Premier League season's here. We got over the line in the FA Cup, penalty shootout against City. A nice way to start the season, to say the least, whether you believe it's a trophy or not. It is still a nice way to start the season with a win. And we move into the Premier League season. First question, Jordan, are we ready?
I think we're as ready as we're going to be. I've got a sneaky feeling there could be another player coming in. I'm not talking about Ray. I think there could be another signing coming in.
I was going to say the rare one isn't. That's no breaking news.
No, yeah. I'm not counting the Ray one. But but I think Lee's mentioned it in previous pods. I don't think we look as good as we did last preseason, but maybe last season was just like an anomaly. Maybe that was just like the perfect preseason. It's very rare you have a preseason as good as we did last year. And this year, we had a decent preseason. It's not been great. It's not been crap. It's been okay. So yeah, whether we're ready or not, I don't quite know, but I think we're as ready as we're gonna be.
Are we excited?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. That doesn't mean, by the way, that I don't mean I'm excited for Saturday. I think we're going to slap up for us off we go. When we get sort of more into the game, I've actually got a little bit of a theory as to why this could be a sticky one. But I am excited for the season. I genuinely really am. This is the most I've ever see. I always get to this period of the transfer window. See all this nonsense, not nonsense, but madness going on. Caicedo, Liverpool won't bid 45 million above that for Lavia, but now they've gone for Caicedo. Chelsea all summer negotiated for Caicedo. Now they've gone for Lavia. Rumors of Tchouaméni here and there, and just things just happening all over the place. Harry Kane deal agreed with Bayern. Now he doesn't want to go. What's happening? Do you know how great it feels to just be sat here with my popcorn, just watching the carnage and actually thinking, if we don't bring anyone else in this summer, I'm cool with that. That doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean everything. But I'd be more than happy with that as sort of summer business.
James, the irony is people like me and I think Turkish about a month ago were kind of saying this Rice deal. It's taking too long. Where is he? Get it done.
Well, someone was calm about it. Is all
he
I'm
was.
saying. Someone was calm about the window.
James, on that point you said about being calm going into the season, even if we don't make another signing, does that relate in any way to Manchester City's window? Question being, if Manchester City were to sign another forward, which is heavily expected in the next 2-3 weeks, would that mean you're less happy with Arsenal not signing another player?
No, I really have this slightly delusional belief in our squad. Like, I really believe the options are there now. Like, remember all the conversations last season? We don't have cover for Partey. Now we've got Jorginho and Rice. Find me a more complete set of number sixes in the Premier League. Dare I say Europe? Like, that's a really great set of sixes. The midfield of Rice, Partey, Odegaard, I think is brilliant. I think only City's midfield of De Bruyne, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva is better. The front three, everyone keeps talking about depth of Saka, and I agree that's needed. But you can play Nelson on the right. You can play Martinelli on the right. You can figure that out if you have to, but we know that Arteta is going to play him every minute of every game anyway. So I just feel really good about the squad. Yes, Havertz still has a lot of winning over to do for me personally. But I've actually liked a little bit of him in the 8 and a little bit of him leading the line. Like, I just feel good about the squad. Timber looks an absolute star. Like an absolute star. I couldn't believe that I guess competitive debut is the terms he'd use against Man City. I thought after the first 10 minutes where he was feeling out Bernardo Silva, I thought he then just came on leaps and bounds, was brilliant that game. So I'm just really excited for the squad. And yeah, and it's been a long time. This isn't like in previous seasons where I'm just sort of, oh, well, I think we can get top 4, but we're missing this, we're missing that. I really feel like the ingredients are there.
Yeah, it's the most excited I've been about a season since as long as I can remember. Maybe 07, maybe 07, 08. I think it's that far back that I felt going into a season we're ready to challenge at the very top. Last season was great because, we did challenge for the first time in years, but I didn't expect that. This season now, I'm expecting to go in as one of the big boys. We've just flexed in the transfer market. We've just finished second on the coattails of City. However people want to look at the way we threw it away. We are more ready now going into the season than we ever have been in the Emirates era, ever. Lee, haven't spoken to you in a little while. Obviously, Get your thoughts on if we're ready or not going into the season, or do you want to see one more person come in?
No, I'll tell you what. First of all, I watched the Community Shield today. Thought like because it's been so long since we and a little watch of it again, like I'm going to say after watching it, I'm more and more looking forward to the season. I wasn't perhaps a bit worried about going into it before that game, but I thought the way we played and the tactical battles and everything there, it was good to watch that game without the pressure of knowing what the result. You knew what the result was, so I just really watched it and watched what I said. I watched it and I thought there was better performances than what I thought from players. I thought Declan Rice was a lot better when I see than what I thought in the game. It's funny how you think that sometimes. I thought he was instrumental in the game once he started getting his foot on the ball, and I'm really, really looking forward to the season. I think that we're, for the first time, I'm going into to Saturday's game. I'm a little bit apprehensive about Saturday's game. I'm not going to lie, because we're at home. It's a different, I think we're different when we're away from home to when we're at home. So I've got that little bit of jitteries, which they need to put to bed, the team, and say, like, we're going to be like this, more compact at home. I'm going to smash teams without conceding silly goals. But I'm really looking forward to it. And it's the first time, I can't remember the last time I've actually gone into a season thinking that, yes, we have a chance of winning the league. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but we have a chance. I didn't think it last season. I thought that we would do well and challenge, but I felt we was always behind the black ball as far as the squad's concerned. But looking at the squad now, I think what's really impressed me is that you look at people like Havertz, you look at people like Timber, they can play in different positions now, so not only is the squad bolts up in numbers, but also positionally as well, because all of a sudden Timber can play 3 positions. Yeah. I think Havertz can play a couple of positions. By the way, I watched his performance today, and how people criticise that, I don't know. Some of his hold-up play was really, really good. I know he missed a chance. If he had scored that goal, it would have been a really, really good performance from him. So I'm really encouraged by it. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it now. Rice ain't 100% fit yet. He's on about 80%, and he looked good the other day. So I do think that the striking thing does worry me a little bit, guys. I'm not going to lie. I listened to what Turkey said on his interview the other day. If we get that striker, we win the league. I understand what he's saying there. I really do. If you had that 30 goal score and all that, you look at someone like Harry Kane, they're talking about with Tottenham at this moment in time. They could get, top 4 or challenge for the title with him. Without him, it's not going to happen. I just think if we was to get that 30 goal score, now I don't know who it is, because they're few and far between, aren't they? I think that's why I think Kane's going for so much money, or not. But I really do think that if we could get that, how can I say? I'd be a little bit more. If Jesus was fit and 100% fit and reliant, I feel we'd be a little bit more confident. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
No, we can't keep doing this, guys. You're on mute.
You know what's mad?
That's the best 4 sentences you've ever said.
Do you know what's mad? I took out my earphones and put them in twice. I thought it was me that couldn't hear. I thought it was me.
We were just you. Yeah. It's a great point.
I saw James nod at one point. I thought, yeah, they must hear me.
Yeah.
I was looking at Jordan fixing the earphone, thinking, nah, what's going on here? We're having trouble.
The way we all knew, just to go along with this.
No, but what I was saying is on the Havertz and the new striker point, a 30-goal-a-year striker would be perfect, but there's not many about, and I understand that. When people got back to me with that argument, I understand. But what my thing is I'd like someone that is kind of reliable in terms of if we need to change it up and we need to bring on another striker that we need to put in the box. I know I'm a bit old school. Some people might call me a dinosaur in terms of football terms, because I still like that old school target man type of player when things ain't going right in these modern day systems. I'd like that plan B. It doesn't have to be a 30-goal striker. It's just a striker that's competent off the bench in changing things up and giving us another option. So it might not necessarily be 100 million striker we're talking about, or I'm talking about. It just could be a shrewd signing. Jordan.
American Gooner 98 says Turkish was spitting.
Fuming.
Spitting facts there, I'll tell you, like,
Can I just first?
Oh, go on, John. No, go on.
No, you go. I'll pick up after.
No, so we did a lot of the striker chat in the last episode, and I think like the Jesus injury, it does make me kind of shake on this opinion about to deliver, but I really do believe if he stays injury free that his goal scoring numbers are going to go up quite significantly this year. Like, and when we're talking about that 30 goal a season, man, I think he can be a 25 goal a season striker. I don't know why. I just think the guy's got everything to become it. He's good in the air. He's great with both feet. He can hold up. He can run behind. He can take players on. He's got the tech. Like, part of finishing is technique and composure in tight spaces, and he can do all that. I think it's just a confidence thing. Like, if he can stay fit and get, say, like 10 in his first 12 league games, you know, sometimes people just have a fast start and something just happens, or actually that's too generous. 10 in his first 15. I really think he can have that kind of season. I believe he's got the quality to do it. He's just never really shown it. So I think he can become that guy.
Is it really bad that I've just voted for myself on the AFTV poll on the stream?
Bro, if we all vote for you, I don't think it's going to help. So it doesn't.
Oh wow! Well, I've got
Where
one.
is the actual poll going on? Is there?
I can't see a poll.
No,
Mr. Judge has asked for a poll. I put a poll up.
Oh, well, where is it then? Right,
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to end it now, or do you still want to chance?
No. Let's leave it. Let's leave it.
He knows about it, and we don't.
I need to have a little look at this.
While you're looking, on the back of your point, Turkish, about lack of a striker, I'd be stunned at this point now if Mikel Arteta brings in another striker. I think Balogun will go, but I'm going to give my first hot take of the year, guys. I'm backing Eddie this year. I'm backing Eddie for 15 goals. I am. Maybe I'm foolish. Maybe I'm deluded. I really believe, to our point on the last pod, I really believe that Mikel. Oh, you're the bet. Oh, jeez. I'm talking 15 goals total.
You can talk.
Oh, you still want to bet
in 2 seasons, bro? You can. I don't care.
I've just seen the poll. That's outrageous.
How did you see the poll, right?
It feels like.
I use my phone. I go on the YouTube.
All right, I'll bet you, Turkish. I'll bet you. I bet you can get 15
in all competitions.
All competitions, and catch 15 goals.
15 goals.
How much are we betting?
You have to give him a shirt every year. Do you really want to go down that route?
How much we betting on? Let's keep it sensible. Let's keep it a score.
A score.
A
okay.
Score. All right.
Damage limitations. I hear that.
Yeah. Let's not go too crazy.
I hear that.
I don't think I'm betting or backing him because I'm adamant it will happen. But I'm just more in belief that Mikel Arteta believes in him. I think there's enough games, and I think that he will rely on him to be that guy. The idea of a plan B, Turkish, it's not happening. People like Arteta don't have plan Bs. It's plan A, make it work. And fans may not like that, but people like Mikel Arteta believe in plan A, because because their mentality is, if you have a plan B or a plan C, then where does that end? And therefore, you don't really believe in plan A. Make plan A work. So I just don't think the idea of a target man. I'll be stunned. If he brings in a Giroud type figure. And I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I don't think I will be on that one. So I think.
So I'm sorry to cut you. I thought that too. That plan A, make plan A work, make plan A work. It's all about plan A. And then he started the community shield with Havertz up top, and Havertz didn't play a single minute up top in 4 other preseason friendlies. Five others. So it just makes me wonder whether, like, he is happy to. It's not sacrificing plan A, but I think he's willing to go long if you have to, and try and bully teams if you have to. And you see this Rice Partey thing we've seen. Like, I think that will change. I think he will play around with that for different teams. So maybe he's got like a plan A.2, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it feels like.
But potentially, I just think that Eddie Nketiah is not top tier, but I think Eddie Nketiah is the guy that can score. I'm saying 15, but I think he'll get between 10 and 15 for sure. And I think that I don't think Jesus will play as many games as we think. I think Jesus is going to miss a lot of games this season.
Can you guys see that comment? Jordan Booman in the comments says Arteta said himself, "We don't have plan Bs, we have plan A1 and A2." Is that a real quote? Because on my life, I never heard him say that. So that's unless I've seen it and subconsciously.
I don't know if he said that, but people like him and Klopp and these guys don't believe in plan Bs. They don't, for better or for worse. They don't believe in the idea of lumping it long. It's not really their thing. Going direct is different to lumping it long. I'm not trying to be overly smart about that, but I don't think the idea of flinging on a big man. I just don't think he'll ever do that.
No.
Yeah, I understand that, and that might be the old school.
He changed it up a little bit on Sunday. I like what he done on Sunday. I watched it. Eddie come on and give us a different where we was coming short all the time. Eddie stretched their back four a little bit like the way he played. We also went to a back three very, very, very late on and all that, So there was game changes in that game, and I think against Manchester City. You have to do that. You can't, there's different ways to kill a cat, aren't there? And I thought that, tactically, I thought both Pep and Arteta went at it. And I think at the end of the day, it was no one won it, really. It came out as a draw. I think it was a really good tactical battle. I think, if I'll be really honest, we opened them up a little bit more than what they did. So I think that he did change a few things. And I think, Eddie made a big difference when he came. I didn't realise how much of a difference that he made, stretched them. And when he stretched them, there was a couple of times when it was difficult to control the ball, and he did So big up Steve. I've got to say, big up Stevie in the comments. Met him today. He's a big fan of the show. Works at Brookfield Farm, Tesco. So all right, Stevie. He said he was going to tune in today, and he has. See, I don't know who his favourite is, but it's definitely not Jordan.
Tell us who your favourite is, Stevie. Can I just finally say on the forward point, my last point on this point would be the Kai Havertz thing for the middle concerns me, because while I've not actually had a problem with signing Kai Havertz at Arsenal, I never thought he would play through the middle up top, and I know there's a different way of playing, but it feels to me like his season, his being Arteta's, could be defined by whether Havertz works through the middle or not. I think you can get away with Havertz having an okay season in midfield. If he has an okay season through the middle, I think he and Arteta will come under mad pressure. I just think you must really believe that Havertz can do a thing through the middle. To see him at Chelsea 2 years flop in that position and then think that you can do it, that concerned me, especially as it was before Nketiah came on.
Imagine he gets it right though.
Oh man, I'd love it.
Imagine Havertz fulfills that potential, or we lift the league title with Havertz playing his part in it. I mean, listen, maybe I'm dreaming, and trust me, I've had many dreams shattered by this club. But that would be quite a flex, wouldn't it? Let me take your flop and make it work. What's that?
Keep your dreams to yourself, please. This is live.
I have very wild dreams. Isn't that an Arteta quote?
But so just to round off the depth debate, just to add my 2 pence into it, the Man City game. I mean, Havertz did look good in parts, holding up the ball and whatnot. But when I look back at last season and I look back at Everton, or I look back at Brentford, or I look back at Nottingham Forest or Newcastle, all games that we dropped points in, and we didn't drop points in many games last season. All of them were struggling to break down a team that were just set up to stifle us, resolute. And I don't know if Havertz is the answer to unlocking those types of approaches from teams going into next season, and that's what I worry about the most. I just don't see him up top for Arsenal. I see him as, as an 8, because that's what Mikel said, a midfielder, and I see him being molded by Mikel. But I also see potentially him being taken out of the firing line, Rice and Partey starting the majority of our early games, and him being bled in slowly but surely, because out of all of our signings, it's probably Havertz that's under the most pressure. And Arteta's probably under the most pressure because of Havertz. So that is the big signing of the lot in that department.
Well, I think you're right, Turkish. He's not the. He might be the answer to breaking down a low block in that he might give you some height. So when you're whipping those balls into the box, there's something there. But he's never struck me as someone who dominates aerially massively. He's just tall. I think the answer to that, and I don't know how much people in the comments are going to like this, but the answer to having more ways to unlock teams is Trossard, who's now there, Smith Rowe realizing his potential, Vieira realizing his potential. Like the quantity of players of that profile is there. Like, really, you want to go into a game with really struggling to break a low block, and you can go, Erdegaard's not been your best game, Rice not been your best game, off you come, Vieira, Smith Rowe, on you come. That doesn't sound encouraging now, but like that's surely what the plan is. Smith Rowe got the number 10 and got the contract, and Vieira was signed for 35 million, so they will have to play their part in the squad, and that's the way they do it, I think.
Yeah. And not compare, but I look at City a few years ago, and you know, when teams set up in low blocks against them, they had so many options and so many electric options that they just used to smash teams more often than not, low block or not. Whereas with us, I don't think we've added that electric forward that I would have liked, whether that's in terms of being a finisher in and around the box, or an electric winger / attacking midfielder that can take one or two men out of the game. I just think Havertz is someone that's gonna keep things flowing. He might do well, but I don't think he'll be doing great, and that's where I have my doubts. But he's an Arsenal player now. He hasn't played a competitive game for us yet, and we're yet to really see what he's about in an Arsenal shirt. And I'm willing to give time, because Mikel Arteta has proven time and time again that trust in him here and there, and he can take us forward. He's done that in the last couple of years, to say the least. We've looked at squad depth, and I want to talk about expectations. But before I bring in the expectations, I want to bring in the end of last season and the way we capitulated, the way we bottled it, the way we, lost ground on Manchester City. However you want to put the end of last season and however you want to word it, it's up to you. But when we look at the season before and the way we, crumbled in the top 4 battle, I think we used that pain to spur us on, and we used some of that. And I think Arteta would have used some of that to spur us on last season. Do you think we do the same this season? Do you think a young side like ours needed that sort of a ending, needed that sort of a experience in order to become great? Jordan, let's start with you.
Yeah, I do. And that links back to your first question about how excited we are this season. And the reason why I'm excited this season is because I'm really keen to see if they've learned. I'm really interested to see if the Sakas, the Gabriels, the Odegaards, the Martinellis, the Ben Whites, the kind of guys that are the core of this team have learned. How did it feel to give up a 2-0 lead against Liverpool? How did it feel when the pressure was on to let West Ham come back and almost win the game? How did it feel to let Southampton, who were relegated, score 3 goals and effectively end your title chance? And I hope that they sit with that, and I hope they learn from that. And there's nothing wrong in coming second in because you can always recover from that the following season. What for me is important is, have they learned how to bottle that feeling and learn what it's like to deal with pressure? I know the general consensus on this podcast amongst the fan base is the main reason we lost the league was because of Saliba. I don't agree with that. I think Saliba being out was a significant factor, massively. Holding changes how we play completely. But for me, the reason was we just didn't know how to deal with the pressure when it got on top. And I don't blame them for that. Why would they? It's a young team. Why would they know what it's like with 4 games to go, 5 games to go, how to deal with the pressure of winning at Anfield 2-0 and protecting that and seeing that out and winning that game? How would they know what that feels like? So for me, I'm excited by watching and understanding if they've learned from last season, because if they finish 3rd, 4th, 5th this season, all the people that have been saying it was a one-off good year and we blew it, well, they'll be right. But the best way to prove them wrong is to say, well, no, last year we came up short, but we went away, we reinforced, we learnt lessons, we were hurting, but we came back hungry and did it again. Liverpool did it 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So why can't we? So I'm just excited to see if they've learned lessons from last year and how to manage the season. My final quick point on this would be, last year we started the season like a train. And I think what's really important is, as Arsenal fans, we don't lose our heads if that doesn't happen again, because the chances are we won't start this season as we started last season. When you really deep it, I think we've really forgotten because we got caught up in the title race. Between the start of the season and Christmas, what we did was a madness.
Yeah.
That first half of the season was an absolute madness. We should not forget how good that what we did in that first half, even the first 3 quarters, but the first half for sure. There's only probably 3 or 4 teams in Prem history that have done that. Maybe City once, maybe United once, maybe Chelsea once. There's not many teams that have gone on that kind of first half of the season run. So that was maybe an anomaly. We may lose a game or 2 between now and Christmas, but what's important is that we manage the season. And really what we've learned is it doesn't really matter how you start. It matters how you finish.
It does. Now we're a couple months out of the pain that was the end of last season, because it was pain. I truly believe that, that we was going to get over the line. I do think the Saliba and Tomiyasu injury didn't help, but looking back now, it was a mix of inexperience and squad depth that cost us. Squad depth's been addressed in a couple of departments that I needed it to be addressed in, and inexperience, we've got a bit of experience now under our belt. Do we have enough? It's hard to say, because City are so experienced in this thing, not just Premier League, but all fronts. We'll find out this season. But I think we have cut the gap in what we needed to do in the summer. Lee, I know you wanted to say something.
No, I just want to. The scenario I was playing, I was in my younger days playing football. Got to the semi-final and we lost. And as we went back into the dressing room, it was all singing and shouting in the next dressing room. And someone turned around and said, "I'll shut that down and hear that." And it was a manager or one of the players said, "No, leave it open. Listen to that. Listen to what they're doing. Listen, look how we're feeling. Don't let it happen again." And it was a very, very poignant thing when I was younger, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, learn from your disappointment, like, make sure it don't happen again. And I hope that something like that's happened with the Arsenal players now.
I just want to, you just reminded me of something. When Odegaard picked up the microphone after the Community Shield win, he mentioned the first thing I think he said was still being disappointed at how last season ended. I actually like that, because it's not about forgetting that. It's about using that mentally to spur you on. And I thought, again, that was big of him to mention. Like at the end of last season, when Arteta picked up the mic after he walked around the Emirates, he also said the same thing. He began with the disappointment at the end of the season. And that's the winning mentality. Sorry, but I just wanted to bring that in.
By the way, I think Odegaard's starting to shine through as a real captain. I will say that, whether it's just be little things you see off the pitch, on the pitch, the way he talks and everything. I'm a huge fan, and I was skeptical of him becoming captain. I think largely, though, when we talked about it on this podcast however long ago, I think we were all largely in favour of it. But yeah, he's doing brilliantly. You asked the question, are we kind of better off for what happened in terms of the motivation? And I think Arsenal would be more likely to win the title this season if they'd won it last season, if that makes sense. Well, yeah, of course it makes sense, because they'd have won it. They'd have done it. They'd have known they can. But I don't know if Arteta would have been this ruthless in the transfer window. Do you guys, I've mentioned this a few times, remember that Brighton press conference straight after? And he basically was like, I didn't know the players. And I'm paraphrasing, and I might be getting some of it wrong, but it was along the lines of, I thought the players had got this level out of them. Like I thought we'd grown beyond this level of performance and mistakes and commitment, or whatever it is. Again, I'm paraphrasing and I'm adding to what he said, but that was essentially his message. And he goes into, this summer, adding a £100 million midfielder, called he always wanted, adding another option in defence, adding Kai Havertz for 65 million, now looking to sign a goalkeeper. By the way, what a great deal that's proving to be. I don't know if he'd have been this ruthless, I don't know if he'd have been this cutthroat.
I think if we look at who he's learnt from, pretty much his mentor as a manager, Pep's ruthless, win, lose or draw in seasons, and he has a hell of a lot more wins than losses. But he'll sell a star man after winning a league title. I think Arteta's got that ruthless edge. So I wouldn't put it past him that if we had got over the line last season, we still wouldn't have made the changes that we have, or upgrades that we have.
Can I give you an example though? I know you're all going to laugh, because I know how we all feel about this player, but just let me land. Across pre-season, especially that tour, he took the squad, and he left players like Cedric at home and all that, fine. But he took Rob Holding, cool. And we know that in his time as Arsenal manager, he's given Rob Holding a new contract. He trusted him last season over Kivior, all that. Rob Holding played 10 minutes of the Barcelona game. That's the only football he played all tour. And didn't come on in the Emirates Cup. Now, I know a lot of people will go, well, great, because we've got all these other options. That's right. And I agree. That's all right. And Arteta's done the right thing. When I say ruthless is, I thought there'd be some like pity minutes in there. Do you know what I mean? I thought there'd be a bit of an Emirates Cup 20 minutes. You know, what does it matter? But he's really just playing the players he kind of believes in and is going to take forward with him now. Kieran Tierney hasn't started a single friendly. But then he comes on in the Community Shield. Like, he's being quite, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. Bold? I don't know. But, like, do you get what I mean by the Rob Holding stuff, guys? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I think he's seizing the opportunity, because when you have an opportunity to potentially win a Premier League title in the times we're in, you've really got to seize it. And part of seizing it would be in pre-season, being ruthless as well as being ruthless in the season and the transfer window, because it's important. If he maybe took a step back and started giving players chances here and there and potentially risking being underprepared going into the season, I think he's just eliminating any potential risks, and he's giving himself the best possible platform, because it's not a make or break season, because you know, there's far more detail to get into to discuss what is a make or break season. You know, there's two different ways not to win the Premier League title, for example, and we can get into that when it's expectations. But I think he's shown ruthlessness from when he first came into the club. I think he's shown it slowly but surely along the way, and I think with more experience came more of that side of him. And now he's kind of got the credit in the bank where he's put up a challenge. I think he's got more chest to be able to, you know, make the decisions, and the club fully back him along the way. Everyone seems to agree. Let's move. Actually, should we get into super chats before expectations? I think we should, because we've got about 16 super chats. So before we get into expectations, let's look at what the super chats are saying. I'm not going to put them.
Are too funny, by the way.
Some of the comments.
Some said they love Lee. Some was a woman, I forgot her name, says, "Oh, I love you, Lee." I was like, bloody hell.
I love you, Lee.
I've screenshotted
it. You gotta take anything you can. I'm not gonna put it on screen because it'll ruin up the layout. So I'm gonna read it. But big up Wayne with the first super chat. He said, he thinks people took Jordan's Havertz and Kaka comments totally out of context or misinterpreted it. Someone backing you there.
What do you have to say to that, Jordan?
Those that know. Let's move on.
Shannon says, our Plus Net sponsor in this video. How is Turkish in his garden with zero lag? I moved 2 feet to the other end of the sofa and it's buffering city. It's a good night, people. It's a good night. Highbury Ultra says, playing devil's advocate, could playing an out-and-out 9 require a drastic change in system? What the false 9 brings to our tactical setup is invaluable. Yes, I think we all agree on that. And I accidentally put that on screen covering James.
That's all right. Put them up on the screen. It's all right.
Yeah? What, to cover your face?
It didn't cover our face.
Just James. Nah. Let's keep the screen clear.
No. Put it
I
on.
can drop you out the stream at any minute.
God, so nice.
Lee, I have the power to remove you from this stream. Don't
I have the power.
And he's gone.
Yeah. He thinks he's funny.
Next one up. Arthur says, big up AFTV. Excited for the season. Are you guys able to make a second 11 from the current squad? Is it strong enough to win a League Cup or FA Cup?
That's a good question.
A good question now. I think that it is.
Not FA Cup, no. League Cup,
No,
maybe.
I think it's a good second string team now.
Raya, Tomiyasu, Timber, Kivior, Tierney, midfield.
Yep.
Smith Rowe, Jorginho,
Vieira,
Nelson, Havertz,
Trossard.
Not bad.
That wins a cup. That can win a cup. Not an FA Cup, but it can win a cup. It's good. That's very good.
Yeah. Sam says, Jordan, Nketiah's got 14 Premier League goals in his whole career. What are you talking about?
Look, let's just come back in 6 months' time and review it. But
Well, no, you didn't put Eddie in that team neither, James.
Was that?
Yeah.
You didn't put Eddie in that team.
No.
So Eddie can't get in the second 11. That's a bit harsh. Just shows you the depth that we got. Nor did Holding.
Oh, we've still got business to do.
Stronger than what you think it is. Stronger than what you think it is. Did Tierney get in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Tierney. For me, it's more about mentality, as I mentioned. I mean, talent-wise, we're still inferior to Manchester City, in my opinion. But what will make up the difference is mentality. It's going into the season believing that we can win this league. I don't think all the pretenders to the crown should be looking at trying to catch City. My opinion, Arteta and the team should be thinking, get 85 points. Can we get 85 points? Because 85 points, you're in the mix. 85 points means with 6-7 games to go, you are in the title race. I think if you started from a position of can we overhaul City, I think you then just focus on City. The first focus for me should be get 85 points. And that puts you well in the mix, and then we see where we are from there.
And also with City, guys, I'm going to say it now. I've put myself on the old line here, chopping block. I think he's going to have to manage De Bruyne a lot more. I don't think De Bruyne is going to be as influential as he has, because I think like his body's breaking down on him a little bit. Like, you know, just come back from injury again now. Like, you know, he's 32 now, played a lot of football. I think that, you know, Pep's going to have to manage him very, very well. Picked and choose a lot of his games last season as well, I noticed, you know, and had him at the back end of last season. So, and when he plays, I watched that Community Shield today. When he plays,
Very
much better side when he's in the team. I tell you, like, you know, and that's when they took Haaland off as well. You know what I mean? He is a fantastic footballer. I have to say that, like, you know.
Adam says Jordan's carrying this podcast on his back.
Who's that, from his mum?
And Balboo says, if we are getting Raya on loan, I wonder if we can get a striker with FFP after having spent as much money as we have. We've spent a lot in the last few years.
Well, that deal was just incredible. If we can get another one like
credit.
That, it's an incredible deal that was. Never seen
Amazing.
that, did you? It's
amazing.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable deal. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this now.
Say it now,
maybe Tony could come to Arsenal, because that is good relationships between both teams. That is really good relationships built there. Surely, I think that's incredible.
I don't get what Brentford get out of it, though. What did Brentford get out of it?
Someone explained this in the office. Shout out to Jack. It might be that for their FFP, they want that fee coming in next summer. Okay. Sometimes they want things split a certain way. It balances the books better.
Yeah,
it could be that. But I also wondered why the hell would they agree to that. But I think it's a stroke of genius from Eddie.
Brilliant deal.
Really, genius.
It is
unbelievable.
Very good deal. Next one says from Z says, if we can get 20 goals each from Saka and Martinelli, then do we really even need a striker, guys? I think these boys are going to announce themselves on the big stage this season, especially Starboy. I think that's the aim for both Saka and Martinelli. I think they'd say that themselves, that their target would be 20 goals when you consider what they've done last season. And if you're getting 20 goals from both wingers, then you're some way, you know, going towards a league title. Obviously, it matters what you do defensively as well, hence last season. But if Saka and Martinelli can improve and get 20 goals, then yes, as a striker, you don't need one that bangs in 20, 30. But I just mean in those difficult last 10 minutes in a game when you need a goal, having an option to change it up. I don't think we've got that yet. Harry says, hey, guys, do you see a role for Trossard as a number 8 at times? Love the podcast. Great mix of personalities and opinions. Can't wait to listen to this through the season. Big up to you all. Trossard 8. Jordan?
Not for me, no.
Not for me, no.
No?
Can be done, but particular games.
Cool. Dave Jordan says, shout out all the gang. Question for Lee. 6 months ago, you said Ramsdale was the weak link. Have you changed your mind after meeting Ramsdale?
Yeah, he's the star man now. Like.
Did you say that, Lee?
I meant it in a nice way. I just said that what I was saying was that our weakest player was Ramsdale,
Beep.
but that just shows
Beep.
you how very
Beep.
good we are.
Beep.
Like,
I actually remember
no,
this.
no,
I actually remember
I
this
meant that as
conversation.
a positive. Like, if you ever look at the Arsenal team, there ain't that many. You're weak. Your weakness is your weakest link, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I don't think he's weak. I just think that probably he was the weakest out of the side, and that just shows what a compliment it is of the team. But I don't think that I don't think that he was a weakness where you'd actually say, right, we need replacing. It was, you know, my point being that we're very, very strong. You know, so
Yeah, the lead didn't rate Ramsdale. That's fair. What's the next one?
The next one it is Highbury Ultra says, I think Arteta sees Havertz as the Giroud type up top. I think against teams like City's press, he allows us to bypass and win the second ball easily.
Second part of that super chat, sure. First part of that super chat. By the way, I'm not Giroud's biggest fan. I hate this revisionism that's been done over the last few years about Giroud. But Giroud was like in the wars, people. He was like every game, whether he came out on top or not, he was proper in a physical battle every single game. So yes, the long ball and the passing the press and having someone with a presence, but he's not. I don't think he's comparable to Giroud for me.
Just talking about strikers, guys. If we were to lose Balogun, do you think it probably won't happen? But would you be interested in a 50 million bid for Watkins?
It costs more.
no.
More than that.
It's
But-
very similar to what we got.
yes, I'd have him. But he cost 80 million, 100%.
Villa got money.
Yeah,
It'd be a difficult deal to do. Mark says, Mr. Judges, I really don't rate Eddie. We have given him a chance. It is not enough for me that he presses well. We really need to give Balogun a chance.
Well, Balogun ain't going to get a chance.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I've said it time and time again. You know what I mean? He's American. Went on the American tour. The Americans were desperate to see him, paying hundreds of dollars. Didn't see him. So
Did he play at all, Lee? Did he play?
He played in the All-Stars game, didn't he?
All-Star game, yeah.
Other than that, nothing at all. And you know, the American fans, you know, were paying big money. They all wanted to see him, and he didn't play. He didn't play against Monaco. He's not he's not as much as it is, whether you say it or not. It's Arteta's call this. You know, he didn't rate Pepe, and he doesn't rate him. Like, you know what I mean? And that's it. It's just for whatever reason they've decided that's it. So you know, forget about him, guys. Forget about him. Whatever. I remember years and years ago, Andy Cole was at Arsenal, like, you know, and went on to have a fantastic career and all that, like. But at that time, you're saying to yourself, is he better than Ian Wright? He wasn't. You know, and he wasn't going to replace Ian Wright, and that's as simple as that, like, you know. So for me, it happens. If he goes on and has a fantastic career, good luck to him. It ain't going to be at the Arsenal.
Is anybody a bit concerned about the lack of outgoings, though? Just the squad's a bit bloated. So I'm thinking of people like Holding, people like Cedric, people like Balogun we can't seem to get rid of, people like, you know, El Nene.
All that at the end, Jordan. All that.
You think? Okay.
When people get a little bit desperate and all that, like, you know, they ain't going to go out there and spend money on a player that they ain't really, that's going to beef up their squad at this moment in time. But towards the end of it, like, then when they need a few of them, they go. Like, I'd imagine that, but in the last
Pepe
week,
as well.
winger Pepe, Cedric, Tavares, and all that, they're not the signings that everybody's looking at the moment. They're signings that they're going to, we're going to beef up the squad later on. There are no rush for them at the minute. They'll all come at the end of the season, at the end of the transfer window.
3 weeks left today, I believe.
Long old transfer. The actual transfer window is longer than the pre-season.
Yeah, it's been going on a little while. It does feel like it opened earlier than usual. DJ Polo says, Eddie ain't scoring 15. Here's my $2 bet. Sam says, Jordan, Saliba is the reason we lost the league. Haaland, 0 chances. People are too focused on scoring goals and not conceding goals.
So where was Saliba in the game when did he play the cup game? I'm sure he played in the cup game, didn't he?
No, he played in the Emirates game.
It was the Emirates one, okay, and that one then, you know.
Yeah.
As the texter forgot that one. Get out of here, man.
Jashar says, big sick show and forever Arsenal generational. Love Jashar. And DJ Polo says, do we have the dog in us this year? Obviously referencing the mentality. Sam says, in a Premier League title race or any competition, your back four and keeper simply cannot make mistakes. Hence, benching Zinchenko and Ramsdale. Or hence adding the competition that potentially does bench them if there's any more mistakes. But I get you. You are right. AMT says, Nick. Go on.
No, carry on.
Go on.
James, give us a kiss.
So as you guys have been having great conversation, I've been having a little bit of fun with the comments who've asked me for a wink, a blink, a thumbs up, and then Michael goes, James, give us a kiss. And there's just only so far I can take this game, guys, before 3 people look, what is James doing? So yeah, we've had our fun. Someone goes, James, blink if you're in trouble. But anyway, shout out to the comment section. The last couple minutes. Time for you to
AMT says next season referees are going to clamp down on managers who overact in the technical blocks panel.
Yeah, let it happen. As long as it's consistent.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I'll tell you what, I'll see the game today. Consistency. Yeah, I agree with every booking that was in there. But whole Rodri gets away with it again. Stonewall booking.
Yeah,
and doesn't get it. Ain't no. He's letting things go and all that. I thought, by the way, Lee Dixon. I can tell he's a Man City fan. Very disappointed with his commentary. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, but consistency, innit?
I think that really is going to be interesting to see what they define as like crossing the line. Where does passion kind of go into just disrespect? Screaming in a referee's face, cursing and swearing at referee is disrespect. But, protesting against a decision, that for me is just defending your team. That's just backing your team. As long as it's within your technical area, there's nothing rude that's said, that for me shouldn't get a yellow card. So I'm keen to see how they police that.
You know what really annoys me though, right, is cool. They want to get stricter on time wasting, fine with that. On the behavior on the touchline and players, I'm actually okay with a lot of that. What annoys me is, but can you also get better at your jobs, people? Yeah. Rodri pulls someone's shirt and should be booked, or as his second foul of the day, I can't remember which one it was. And Arteta protests it, and Arteta gets the yellow card. Is there any self-reflection after where the refs are looking at it going, all right, Arteta's behavior wasn't right, we gave him the yellow. I actually didn't see what Arteta did, but cool. But is there any part of them that's going, but we should have given a yellow for Rodri there? So, we understand why. I just feel like there's no
James
accountability whatsoever.
I agree with you, but I think a lot of this is also about champions tax. So what I mean by that is the team that generally is the big dogs of the land will always get a few breaks. Man United got it, we got it, Liverpool got it, Chelsea definitely got it, and Man City are getting it. So you're right, Rodri should have got booked. It's not a discussion. It's a yellow card. It's a booking. But I just think we're gonna see in this period and this season for sure. I just think Manchester City will get that champions tax that you are afforded when you are the big team in the country. And I think we can complain about it and when against us. But if it was us, it goes in our favor. So you're right. You're totally right. But I just think it's one of those things that
I just think, I know they shouldn't necessarily pay attention to social media and all that, and I get why, but it's such a topic in football. It's such a, if you say Rodri to people, the two things I'll say is great player, should get booked more. It's a thing. It's people just talk about it with him, and I just feel like they don't even notice it. It's another game where he didn't get a booking. I can't believe it. And I have nothing on Rodri. Fair play to him. He's getting away with it. I'd love it if I were an Arsenal fan. I just don't understand how they're not spotting it. And then I feel for the people having to complain and raise their voices louder to the officials to be like, why are you not noticing this stuff?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because that's how I view it as well. You're making stupid decisions, but you're worrying about people's reaction to the stupid decisions more than the stupid decisions.
Yeah,
stop making stupid decisions, and you might not have managers flipping out at you on the sideline.
Exactly right.
Maybe that.
100%.
A few more super chats and then we'll get into expectations. AFC Max, hope you're well, my guy. Haven't spoken in a little while. He says favorite AFTV members in order: Turkish 1, James and Robbie joint 2nd, Sharoy and Cecil joint 3rd, Lee Judges 4th, Jordan and White Yardy 5th, Ty 6th.
I'm ahead of Ty. Wow.
Harsh.
I'm just
That's harsh.
flipping. No, that is
Didn't even get, I
harsh on
didn't,
Ty.
didn't even get a medal there. How much he paid for that super chat? It's a tablet.
D Brown says, what strikers are available to get realistically? We've moved on from that conversation, Brand, but the point is that, you know, we want another type of striker, ideally, or a couple of us do. It's up to the club to determine who that type of striker is. Jashar says, big up, fellas. I believe City's transfer business has been better than Arsenal's. What's your thoughts? Not for me.
Not for
City
me.
better than Arsenal. No,
Could be at the end of it, but not at the moment.
Yeah, it's still room for
It's
the
room
development.
for
in that.
manoeuvre.
I don't think it's been better, but do I also still think they're perfectly capable of winning the league and blowing us out the water with what they got? Yeah, of course. But I don't think as a window, you can't lose Mahrez and Gundogan and add Kovacic and Gvardiol and go, that's a better window than just adding Rice and Timber. Full stop. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could add Xhaka go in and how important he was last season, maybe. But I still think Arsenal's window at this moment is better.
I think it looks. Sorry, Turkish. Sorry.
No, go on.
I think it looks better because we've brought in players that the need for us was bigger than their need.
Yeah,
100%. That's
So
what I
it
mean.
looks-
They can do this business and still win the league and probably still win the treble and whatever. Like,
yeah.
True. 2 more. Jorge says, I'd like to see Marcelo Flores have a chance to break into the squad. Haven't heard his name in a little while. But yeah, maybe. What is he, 19 now? 19, 20, 19, something like that.
30
Why not?
players to get through.
League Cup. If we don't make any signings, says Reddy, who is ideally the backup for Saka with the current squad? I'd rather keep Pepe instead of letting him go for free. Probably Nelson.
Yeah, Vieira's played a few games on the right.
Yeah.
Different profile.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I
Let's
don't love
move.
him there either. Get him in the middle.
Nor do I, to be honest. You're right. And it is a legitimate question, but I'd assume it's going to be Nelson. Maybe you might see a Trossard there. I don't even know what else, to be honest. But we've got players that can kind of play across the forward line. Ideally, I'd want someone, but we don't live in an ideal world. What can we do?
I think we've got to treat. Sorry, just quick on Saka. We've got to treat Saka this year the same way that I think City treated Haaland last year. I think Saka's got to play. He's our best player. He's our main guy. But I think we have to recognise when it's time to come off. Do you know what I mean? I think we've got to. If Saka only plays mainly 70 minutes, 75 minutes, but the job was done, I would be okay with that. I don't think Saka has to play 90 minutes in every Champions League game, 90 minutes in every Premier League game. I think we have to do our job first, win the game first and foremost. But the first player that comes off for me when we win games should be Bukayo Saka.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that. With the we've got to treat him like Haaland. Get him up top. Okay. Get the ball up the pitch. Shield off 10 men.
Yeah.
Battering 50 goals a season. I thought, wow. What a jump.
Before we move on to expectations, I just want to say there's 3.3k in the building. So love for the love. But at the same time, we're only on 500 likes. So we need to be on 1,000 likes, people. Hit the like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes before the show ends. You know what it is already. Show some love.
That was the best Jordan comment ever. 3.3.
There should be 5.
Should be 5.
Well, we've been another half hour earlier.
We're a massive channel, and I'll expect the best. So.
Well, yeah.
Thanks, but no thanks, guys.
Expectations this season. Jordan, let's start with you with the expectations.
With me. Well, if you remember, Turkish, the first pod of last season, I had my book here and I had some notes. And I got everything pretty much that I wanted. I wanted fast starts. I wanted us to win a big game away. We did that. I wanted us to play a better brand of football. And I wanted the development of some of our younger key players. And I'm glad we got all of that. This year is very simple. My expectations are a title challenge. My expectations are a good brand of football. My expectations are our key goal scorers, Martinelli and Saka, 15 goals minimum each. Minimum. That is the bare minimum. But I also expect 19 clean sheets. I want 19 clean sheets because we'll get to our predictions, I'm sure, in a minute, who we think will win the league. But I think City are going to absolutely do a madness this year defensively. I think defensively, they're going to do an absolute madness. I think I want a target of 19 clean sheets. And that's high. That's a lot of clean sheets.
Yeah,
I think because I'm not convinced about us in the opposition box, I think we're going to have to do a madness in our own box and keep a lot of clean sheets. So my expectations are for me, title challenge is a must, and a brand of football. Those are, and a cup. Three targets. Get me a cup. Give me a good brand of football to watch, and make sure you take it to the last 5-6 games in the season.
By
Very
the way,
simple for me. Some
breaking news coming from Sky Germany. Apparently, Kane is looking more likely to join now. He says Florian Plettenberg. Now the deal is on the verge of being sealed as Kane wants to join Bayern.
I don't think it will happen still, but we'll see. We'll see. And also, I think every single English club, Turkish, that's in a European competition should be getting to bare minimum quarterfinals. I think for Liverpool and Aston Villa, they should be winning their competitions. I think City should be getting to the final, and I think Arsenal should be getting to the semi-finals of the Champions League. We have too much money in this country. We have the best managers, most of the best players. There's no reason why Arsenal can't get to the unless it's a freak like we draw City in the quarterfinals, something like that. Arsenal should be getting to the semi-finals for me. So those are my expectations for the season ahead.
I think they're fair. Lee.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't expect us to win a trophy. I'm hoping that we do. I don't think it's like, you can't, when you've got a team like Manchester City about. It's they're going to at least win 2. I would imagine 1 or 2. But I do expect us to challenge this season. I'd be disappointed if we come lower than second. I think we're far higher than anybody else in the field. I expect us to be challenging for the league. I expect us to be going very, very deep into the Champions League. And I think the Champions League is nowhere near as strong as when we left it. And I expect good cup runs as well. I don't expect us to be knocked out of cups early, unless again, like you rely on a little bit on draws and things like that. But I don't expect us to go out to the likes of Brighton at home, like we did last season. Manchester City away, yeah, you can accept that. But I'm expecting a run on all fronts. I think we've got a big enough squad. I think the squad has been built to say that as well, and I think it is now, that is the minimum expectation. I think that, I feel that Arsenal have got a very, very good chance of winning the league. If we, on one thing I don't want us is to capitulate again like we did last season, like in the last 2 seasons. That lesson has got to be learnt now. If we're in the chance to win the title, come April, May, we've got to nail it. And I expect us to nail it if we're in that sort of position. I don't expect us to fall away like we have done in the past. I would expect us to go on and win it.
What?
Sorry, why is Turkey sitting in his street?
Jordan.
Sorry, Lee.
We've been kicked out of his house.
Man said, not even backyard, street.
Man, you know what? If I take this poll down and put our next poll up saying who's got the best set out of us, I bet you I'll win again. I bet you I'll win again. Do you see the depth of this set? I could go water flowering. I could go feed the cat. I could go to my shed. There's endless options.
Someone said they saw a fox.
I did see a cat doing the rounds.
In my garden. Yeah. There's a cat walking around still.
No, it's jokes.
Sorry, Lee. Sorry.
No, that's it. I mean, like, that is the one thing that is my big expectation is if we're in a position to win this title, we nail it. We don't, no excuses. If we're 5 points clear, 3 or 4 games left, nail it. That's how I feel like,
Imagine people are walking back, just they've had a late day at work, and Turkish is just on the side. It's Phil Wicker podcast.
Would it be great if someone knows where he lives and they start jumping over the fence? You know what I mean? That'd be good.
that might be the last thing they do, Lee. I'll be honest with you. That might be the last thing they do. So I wouldn't advise anyone to do such a thing. But
Okay, can I just say as well, just in terms of targets as well, expectations, a home record, I think we might weirdly have to improve our home record. Our home record was very good last year. It was very
we
good.
concede less goals at home. That's
I
the
agree.
thing.
That's a good
I
thing.
agree.
Only 2 teams conceded more at home than us.
It's bad. It's bad. We
Yeah.
can't let that many goals in at home. And weirdly, our away record was the best in the league, I think.
Yeah.
Or second best.
Away record was the best in the league.
It was insane.
Actually, by the end of the season, we might have threw that away as well. But
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
City then lost their last 2, so I think we might have held on to it.
Yeah. Clean
Well,
sheets.
true and lost.
Just give me clean sheets, man. I need 19 clean sheets.
That's what I want.
James,
If I'm to like kind of narrow it down to a line, I think it's be ultra competitive in at least 3 of the 4 competitions. I say that because I think there could be a freak sometimes. I mean, treble winners got knocked out to Southampton in the Carabao Cup, right? Relegated Southampton were the difference between a treble and a quadruple. Like it's crazy. But yeah, it's just to be super competitive, and I think we were very competitive last season in the Premier League. I don't know how. I think you're looking at points really. Like, can you just score a few more goals, concede less, better record at home? You know, we've got 84 points. Can we get that closer to 90? Champions League, you know, go out to like an actual really good team. You know, if you don't win the thing, and obviously we've never won it before, an FA Cup or Carabao again. Like, I'm the same as Lee. Like, you know, I don't want to. With all due respect to Brighton, obviously proved a very good team. Disappointing going out to them 3-1 at home, especially when you look at the run Man United had to get to the final and win the thing. So just, you know, we've got a big squad now. Let's use it. Let's go far in competitions. If we go out, let's go out going, okay, right. You know, we did what we could, and sometimes you fall short. And but I think this team's really ready to be competitive. The thing is, you ask what I expect. I've also predicted Arsenal to win it. So if you kind of frame the question slightly differently, I'm expecting Arsenal to win it because I've predicted they will, and I've predicted they will because of what I think of the team. So, yeah.
but a prediction is you putting your head on not on the chopping block per se, because you're asked a definitive. People want a definitive answer to a question. With the expectation, it's
more like targets, right?
Yeah.
Targets for what's deemed a good season. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
I'm very optimistic. And
Sorry, I cut you off, James. But one of the things I think we were good at last year, apart from maybe right at the end, was responding to setbacks. I thought we were really good last year at losing a game or having a couple of bad games even, but not letting it turn into a run. Apart from that period where we did Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton, I think every other game we lost, or a couple of draws, we nipped in the bud early. And I like that. And I need that again. We will lose games this season, but how about we respond in a way that
we had two blips, and both blips came leading up to the Man City fixtures. Now that could be a mental thing because literally both blips came leading up to Manchester City fixtures. The first one was the Everton Brentford results leading up to it. The second one being the West Ham Southampton Liverpool results. So better than that.
That's a good point.
My expectations for me is, get to the last couple game weeks, still in with a chance for the league title, get to the semi-finals minimum of the Champions League, semi-finals minimum of the FA Cup. My expectation is one of those trophies over the line, if I'm honest with you. Less goals conceded is key for me. Less goals conceded, please, because that was the only thing that stopped us winning the league last year, is the amount of goals we conceded at home, especially. So for me, less goals conceded, and I agree with everyone else's points about style of play and an expectation of major trophy and all of that. So, yeah, that's what it is. Earlier I mentioned there's 2 ways to lose a league title, and that's why when I get questions now about, what is the bare minimum in relation to what happens with Mikel Arteta next, if anything happens. Now, there's so much, behind that sort of an answer. It can't be answered now. Like I said, if we go into March and we're out of the title race, big questions have to be asked. But if we go to the last 2 game weeks and we lose that by 2 points, that's two completely different scenarios that need to be looked at 2 completely different ways. Manchester City are still the favourites, regardless of us having this transfer window, finishing second and having the youngest team. City are still favourites, in my opinion, anyway. And I want us to get closer. I want us to overtake. But we've seen City, we've seen Liverpool not pick up league titles with points above 90. So, we could get 92 points, concede less goals, and still not win the league. Would I say Mikel Arteta's head should be on the chopping block then? No. But if we go into March with no chance of the league and potentially out of the Champions League and FA Cup, then questions will have to be asked. So there's no answering that question right now, people. We have to answer it when the time comes.
Just super briefly, I think my bare minimum, maybe I'm being a little bit more kinder to Arteta. My bare minimum is top 4, a cup, style of play. Style of play for me is non-negotiable. Arsenal have to play good football.
It sounds like but that answer sounds like we're back in 2019.
No. I'm saying bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. If we finish 4th, won a League Cup,
isn't bare minimum challenging though? We have to challenge bare minimum. I'm not having not challenging. I'm not having going.
Maybe it's interpretation then. What I mean, I guess, is what would be classed as a bad season. A bad season for Arsenal has to be 4th and a cup. That's got to be a bad season.
Not challenging for me, Jordan. Not challenging in any shape or form. Lose the first 3 or 4 games and not challenging. Arsenal, with money spent, squad depth and everything like that, should be challenging Man City for this title.
I agree. I agree. I do agree, but I just think if we're here this time next year and Arsenal won a League Cup, finished 4th, and got knocked out of the quarterfinal of the Champions League, is that a terrible season?
Say that again.
4th League Cup and a quarterfinal in the Champions League.
I'm not having that.
No,
I'm not having that.
What are we talking like?
I'm not having it.
Okay. So should his job be on the line then? Is that what we're talking about? For that season, is his job on the line?
4th,
yeah,
Champions League quarterfinal and league, yes,
and a League Cup.
For me, it's not a disaster, but like it's pretty bloody underwhelming. Yeah. Like his job wouldn't be on the line because
but it'd be under pressure.
He's lifted silverware, and the Champions League quarter is the furthest we've been since 2008 or something ridiculous, 2009. So, but it's really very below par. I think some people might hear all this and think
there's some good teams in this league.
I know. So some people might hear all this, right, and go, Arsenal fans are so delusional. Look at all the other teams, and you've had 1 year challenging. Now you're expecting all this stuff, but I think the thing I'd say is that it's not just we love our team, so we're believing in them. It's also we have spent a lot of money. Like we should just be expecting this. Like
so have United, so have Chelsea.
Okay, good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
No, everybody spends money. I get that. Like someone turned around and said in the chat, we spent 700 million. So have Chelsea. So have Liverpool. They've all spent money. Tottenham have spent loads of money. Like, you know what I mean? Like every team spends money. Like, but it's still
Arteta for 4 years has got largely what he wants.
Yeah, so he needs to deliver. He needs to keep challenging. What happened last season was fantastic, but you've got to go and do it again. That's what football's about. Go and do it again. Go and challenge them. That's it. It's for me. Like if they don't challenge, if we're doing what Liverpool doing like next season or Manchester United or whatever, like I'm not going to be happy. I know they got to a cup final and won the Carabao Cup, but they've never got near challenging for the time. Might have challenged it for a week. I want us challenging week in, week out, like I did last season, going up and down the country, challenging for a title. Do you know why? Because I think we deserve it. And we've got the players now. I don't care what anybody says. We've got the players to do that. So if we've got the players, what is it? If we can't challenge, what is it? If it ain't the players, who is it? So there's going to have to be accountability somewhere along the line.
What's your top 4, Lee?
My top 4? Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and I'm going to say Chelsea.
Turkish?
City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United.
James?
Arsenal top, City, Liverpool. In my predictions, I put Newcastle 4th and Man United 5th, but I think you could flip them easily. I think you could flip any of Liverpool.
Don't flip it. Give us your 4th.
Yeah, I've gone for Newcastle. I have this weird feeling about United. And if United fans are like, oh, why? Yeah, I don't have a good reason. I just have this weird feeling about them.
Jordan.
I've been thinking about this all week. I've landed on City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. But in the last week, I've put a case forward for Liverpool and Arsenal winning the title. But I've landed on City. Yeah, so that's my top 4.
Okay. We've passed the hour, people. Have we hit 1,000 likes? Let me check. No, we haven't. We're just touching 800. So, people,
What's the point?
we're doing. I was told to make this an hour. We've gone to hour 15. We've still got a few super chats. We've still got predictions, and we've still got comments of the day. Show some love and hit the like button. Make sure.
Yeah, hurry up, because I've got.
Are we doing this late?
Out my channel now, like, you know what I mean? It's like they're all, asking for me.
And you're right here, mate. You're with us.
Still here.
You're with us. Super chats. I got 4 here. I'm gonna get them in. Sell some players, says AMT. Then get Kudus and Barella as an example. I'll be more excited. Still looking at more business there. Zafar mentions the whole goals issue last season. He asked, will we concede more than 35 goals this season? Will we concede more than 35 goals this season? I'm going to say no. Jordan?
No.
No. Lee?
Say that again.
It'd be nice if you listen.
What's the
It'd be
point?
actually nice if you listen.
No, I'm supposed to. I'm getting me comment of the day up. Right? Was that?
And will Arsenal concede more than 35 goals this season?
How many did they concede last year?
Wasn't it 40? Oh, I forgot off the top of my head, but it wasn't 30.
It wasn't good.
No, I think they got. I think if they're going to challenge them, they've got to go under that this season. So
no,
yeah, I think they go under that. They've got to.
Cool. James,
Around that. I want to say yes, but like 37 maybe.
Okay. Hussein says, please explain where all this confidence is coming from. Talking about the Champions League and a very good chance of winning the league, you guys have to chill. From Hussein. Where if the team that finished second, Hussein, last season, that was the youngest team in the league, and they've just broken the British transfer record, can't say that we can challenge Manchester City, then who can?
No, exactly right.
But also, like, yeah, cool. It might all go wrong, but like, what are you getting on to us for having? But what are you getting on to us for having that opinion? Like, the thing that annoys me is like, it's a very fair opinion to have. We might be wrong. Cool, but it's not delusional thinking.
He's definitely a United or Chelsea fan. That guy. Who's saying? Let me know in the chat. Do you support United or Chelsea? Which one is it? I know it's one of them. No, Tottenham. No, them men are quiet right now. Hass says, Lee, if you could go out for a pint with any of your co-hosts, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you know what I'm going to say, Jordan? Because I've never been out with Jordan like that. You know what I mean, so I've been out with everybody else.
Thank you, Lee.
No problems, my man.
It'll be a pleasant.
No, I was just trying to be diplomatic, like that. He says, you know what I mean?
Something like that will be, but yeah, let's keep it moving. What's next? Predictions. We got Forest this Saturday.
Did I get my point? Yeah.
For what?
For last week.
You didn't get your point. You predicted a 3-1 Arsenal win.
We won the Community Shield, no?
You predicted 3-1.
I predicted us to win the Community Shield. I didn't get the result right, but
I thought you predicted a draw.
No,
he went for an Arsenal win.
This ain't win.
No one went for the draw then.
No.
Hold on. So you 3 pathetic fans all said City would win the Community Shield. I backed the team to win the Community Shield, and because I didn't guess it was pens, I don't get a point.
No.
What was the result?
1-1.
1-1. So
what was the result
of 3-1? You went 3-1.
It was 4-1
Arsenal won on penalties. No,
they won 4-1 on penalties. Didn't even get
Did Arsenal win?
Yep.
On penalties. You didn't say that.
So they won the Community Shield. So I was correct. My prediction that Arsenal win the Community Shield was right.
3-1 is a losing bet. Well said. Thank you very much, Colby. And it was.
I think it's a point for James.
You start.
You are absolute crooks. You're absolute crooks.
Well, you predicted 3-1 after 90 minutes. It didn't finish 3-1 after 90 minutes.
Of course you're right.
The whole point is correct score, you get 3 points. Predict the outcome, you get a point.
Your outcome.
The outcome.
Your outcome.
was we
Was the
win the Community Shield.
Arsenal win in 90 minutes was your outcome. Your outcome was wrong.
It's all
So-
going off in the chat. It's all going off in the chat.
So if I'd said draw, but we win on pens, that
No,
would
all-
I'd have
all-
gone,
No,
all-
no.
All
just
we
say
needed from
draw.
you was a
Just
result.
say
That's
draw.
all we needed. You
So
didn't
if
need
I
to
said
say
draw,
so if
you
I
would've
said
won. You
1-1 and if I said 1-1 and
You'd have
never
got 3
picked a
points.
winner,
Yeah.
what a load of bollocks! You
No,
lot are a load of
if you
shit.
just 1-1, you would have
going
got
on.
3 points.
Whatever. I'm not taking this league seriously anymore.
Jesus, I can't believe it. I thought you actually predicted a draw. Where comes on bottom?
The letter of your name.
My name's
Do
Albert.
a
Right,
poll.
Albert.
Should James get a point? Yes or no?
Albert Lee judges.
There we go, people. There's the table.
No, I think you've stolen a point from James.
How
bro.
has
Yeah,
he stolen
I
the
agree.
point? Look,
I agree.
I mean, I'm all for James getting a point, but
Give the man his
3-1
point.
is not 1-1, is it?
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's
sir.
something that should have been clarified prior
Yeah, it should have
to
been
the
clarified,
game.
but
If
like, I
there
thought
was
we
any
were-
Well, whoever makes this stupid game can figure that out, right? Oh.
We got it. Lee Mason judges. In the comments. The chat's going off.
Lee Mason judges.
Right, come on, hurry up. We've got another show to do. Let's get
All
on
right,
with it.
predictions, go on.
Predictions. All right, I'm gonna go first since I'm top and I'm defending champion and I've got 2 league
All
titles
right,
under my
all
belt.
right. Let's get on with it.
I'm gonna go for a 4-0 Arsenal win.
That's what I want to do.
James.
26-12. What's the fucking point?
It's not Wimbledon.
26-12. Do you want the minutes of goals? I think
What?
I think 15 of them will come minute 30.
James is actually rattled by this.
This is
Oh,
an
dude.
absolute disgrace.
You'll get your point, James. You'll get your point. Don't worry. You'll get your point.
I'll tell you what, better call Sharoy. I'm getting him on it.
My
And
lawyer's
by the
ready.
way, there is an actual line in law, which is something like ambiguity around the rule lies
be a
with the
little
person
girl.
who drafted the rules. Therefore, I get my point. Someone says James rage
don't be a
quit
little girl.
AFTV. I've got bills to pay, guys. I can't.
Was you right in predicting 3-1 Arsenal?
I was right in predicting the
That's
winner.
not the question I asked.
No, but hang on,
right?
so- right.
no, but hang on,
So
no,
let
but
me
hang on.
flip- so let me
The
flip
game
this. Let me
is
flip
predict
this.
the result and the score. You get a point
You
for
get
the
a
result.
point. You guys get a point when you say so. Lee predicts a 2-1 win. Yeah, we end up winning 4-0. He still gets a point. He was wrong. We didn't win 2-1.
But it
But he
finished
was-
the draw.
The match finished a
It
draw.
went to
Match
it went
finished
to
the draw.
penalties to decide a winner.
Yeah,
We
it's got nothing to do with
we
the
knew
match
there was
finished
going to
the
be a
draw.
winner. We
No,
knew
no,
that.
You predicted 3-1. If a
It's-
game
Our
predicts-
penalties
if I
are part
predict
of the game.
2-2 and it ends up 1-1, it's a
Of course, they're
draw.
part of the game. They settle. They
Our
settle the winner of the match.
Our penalties are part of the game.
Yeah, they
No.
settle the winner of the match.
What do you mean? No, what's the
They
point of
were
having them
never
then?
part of the game.
Why do they have them then?
When we done Europa League last year and competitions where extra time may come in, we actually said that these are predictions for 90 minutes,
Yeah.
not for
Didn't say that
extra
for this
time.
one. This
No,
is a
no,
final.
but-
You set the rules. Don't call it a final because I'll put you a -1 for
This was
I like
You've
the
been bent
one.
over there, James. You've been bent over. I can't
This
lie.
was-
Yeah,
Silverware.
well, bent over. I don't care if he's bent over or not. Can we get on with this, please?
Well, he can wait
James.
for last year's money a bit longer.
James
Go on,
is
James.
pissed.
What's
Come
the
on.
what's your prediction?
Oh, fuck it. 3-1.
3-1 win. Jordan.
4-1.
4-1. Lee.
3-0. I had 3-0 down. I'm not going to keep with it. Get some points on the board.
All right. For the
3-1 after extra time. It might be 4-0, but I'll tell you what, it's after whatever it is. Right, you know.
Somewhat 1 point for a result, 3 points for the score. I
The
got
res-
the result right.
the result
Arsenal
was a
win.
draw. The
The
result was a
Arsenal
draw.
won.
The result was a draw, bro.
It goes down as a draw. So result was a draw. Anyway,
Stupid competition.
I'm with you, James, but
now,
You're a top guy.
Jordan, that just shows you're not a football man. Get back to rugby. In the World Cup. Right.
Listen, for the people listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all of those podcast platforms, because we do upload to the podcast platforms, people show some love there as well. The predictions for game week 1, Nottingham Forest at the Emirates are as follows. I've gone with a 4-0 win. James has gone for a 3-1 win. Jordan's gone for a 4-1 win. And Lee has gone for a 3-0 win. And the table is currently sitting like this. I'm top with 3 points. James, Jordan, and Lee are joint bottom with 0. So that's how the table is looking at the moment. We'll see how that develops as the season goes on. As you can see, the 2 stars there by my name and the 1 by Lee. That tells you who's done the dirt in the past couple of years.
And that's why we're at the top, because we know our football, right? Not
We
like
do.
these two muppets.
We do. Comments of the day, and then we wrap it up, people. Who's going first?
I don't have a comment. Sorry,
Oh, I've
guys.
got a comment. And it's bloody appropriate now, this one. Turkish and Lee are like the invincible Arsenal players, where they always make sense in what they say. But James and Jordan are like Eddie and Holding. They may impress you for a second, but then they come up with something ridiculous, and you think, well, what the heck? And we have put it now. It's the appropriate comment, that is. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
Perfect. I can't even. I didn't even read my one after that. I think that was the perfect way to wrap it all up. But I will get mine in. Love this show because it makes me feel better about my football knowledge listening to Jordan's waffle.
Jeez.
So rude.
Gosh.
It's so rude.
Oh, shit.
James,
I'm all good.
look at he's upset. Jordan,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he's going to go and watch Pointless after this, isn't he?
What? What am I going to do?
Go and watch Pointless.
Why?
It's a
'Cause
good
you're
show.
pointless.
It's a good show.
you're
Because
pointless.
you are
innit?
pointless.
Coming from the man who has no points. I
Yes, I've got no points, but I've got stars. I've got stars.
I don't have a comment, but who won the poll? Turkish. That's what I want to know. What's the order?
Oh, thanks for the reminder. Let me end the poll right now.
Yeah, you really had to bring that back up, didn't you?
Well, there's only one winner, surely.
So the poll's been ended, and the results are as follows:
Let's have a look.
3.4k people have voted. 3,400 people have
Get
voted.
it up then.
I can't get the poll up. I have to read it out to you.
9%.
So
Wow.
3,400 people have
You
voted.
don't love me, man.
Jordan has finished last on 9%. James
Jeez.
has finished third on 27%. Lee has finished second on 28%. And I have finished top on 34%. People,
That's a landslide.
this is why I love the watchers of Fourever Arsenal and the viewers of the Big Six. It's ride or die. It's ride
Just
or die.
shows me you've met more people than us. That's what that is. Right?
Yeah. Paid
Saying
Me,
no,
only 1% more than me. That's embarrassing.
Well, that's it. I'll tell you what, like, most of my
1%.
fans have gone to bed now. Like, go to bed early.
That's a good thing.
People, listen, hour and a half. We're touching it in a couple minutes. Still 3K here. We have hit 1,000 likes. So love for the love. If you haven't hit the like button, let's try and get to 2,000 as well. If you're watching this after, leave us your thoughts, comments, predictions, lineups. With 3 weeks left of the window, do you want to do any more business? Leave us.
Hashtag James
comments
Rob.
below.
Sorry.
There's loads of them.
If you want to put a
Sorry,
campaign out for
Turkish.
James, then go ahead. You can
I've
put
got
a
the
campaign
people.
out
It's
for James.
fine. You know what? I don't need the point. I have you guys. That's all I need. Thank you. Love to you all.
You've
Can't
got-
believe it. Honestly, James, I'm really disappointed. I thought you know.
What's more, I'll tell you what.
you'd
I
accept-
thought Arsenal were going to win that Community Shield. They did. A lot of you bottled it. So I'm taking
Hashtag
that.
stop James abuse. This is going too far.
you know what I mean? I honestly thought you went for a draw, so I thought I did have you down as a point, but you know.
Unfortunately not. Listen, I don't care either way, to be honest with you. Whether he gets a point or not, it's not affecting
No,
me.
it's not the rules. That ain't the rules.
Give him his point. Good man.
No. I don't want it this way.
Hashtag I stand with James. Oh no, I'm done.
On
There's
that
loads
note,
of them.
Someone said to him, like,
James.
stand up, and I felt like saying, well, he is.
Oh, loads of them.
Curtis in. Jeez.
people, it's been a
It's in. What's
Oh.
that? Where's that come from?
I'm catching strays. I'm not even involved. I'm catching strays.
Now, Jordan, you had my back today, and I won't forget it.
Oh, Calvin had my back tonight. You know what I mean?
I got you, bro.
3-1 is not 1-1 Turkish, is it? Like, I'm sorry. It ain't
I
like,
don't even get the argument. That's why.
No, I don't get the argument. I really don't.
Just sweet James.
Just no.
Hashtag free James.
Mike has sent in a super chat saying, "Just wow, Turkish and Lee. Just wow. The game is the game. The game is
the game. That is why we're winners, Turkish. That is why we're winners.
That's
We
why
know
we got
what
the
it's
stars
like.
by our name. There ain't no.
That's
fucking...
it. There's stars by our name.
Lee,
and there's a reason for that.
did you finish below me last year
No,
in the league table?
No, look, you know, you're even trying to that now.
Oh no, it was hold on, it was same points, wasn't it?
Same points, yeah. But
Yeah,
I won it
I
on
know
more.
my football's been watching it for 85 years, and
He's been watching
He's
him for
getting
85
nasty now.
years.
He's getting nasty now.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That was
Getting
actually
personal.
cheeky.
Keyboard
coming
warrior
to
there, isn't he? Like, when I walk in, I was, oh, hello, Lee. How are you? All right, like that, Lee. Oh, hello, Lee. Glad to see you, Lee.
Yeah, that's you with Julian. But we know what you say about this, man.
You know, oh, man, like, you know, to be in a coffin, you know what I mean? Well done.
Listen, we're gonna wrap it up here. We've just touched 1 hour 30. We've passed 1,000 likes. We've done overtime. The game is this Saturday. We've made our predictions. We've got comments of the day, and make sure you leave your comments for the next comments of the day. We'll be back again next week. Make sure you subscribe, put a notification bell on, and you'll see exactly when it comes about. Love for the love, people. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone that's engaged, sent in super chats and so on. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out and keep locked. Love for the love. We're out. Peace.